You're listening to Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance, Protecting Texas Churches. The show that gives pastors and church leaders the clarity they need to protect their people, property, and ministry.
Welcome back to Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance, Protecting Texas Churches. I'm your host, Ron Wadley with Insurance for Texans. We help church leaders protect their people and property with wisdom and clarity. Today, we are breaking down the two core pillars of church insurance, which are structural building protection and comprehensive liability insurance. Leslie sat in her car staring at the building. For months, her church in Waco had been searching for a permanent home. After years of meeting in a local school cafeteria, they had finally found a property that seemed absolutely perfect. The building had enough room for worship services, their children's ministry, community service programs, and future growth. There was only one problem. The bank required insurance before they would approve the loan. At first, Leslie assumed that would be a simple task. Get a quote, buy a policy, and move on. Instead, she immediately discovered a confusing world. Words that she didn't understand. Property coverage, liability coverage, deductibles, exclusions, coverage limits, and many other insurance terms that seemed explicitly designed to make her head spin. The question she kept coming back to was simple. What insurance do Texas churches actually need? The answer starts with understanding that your safety net is built on two parallel foundations. Any church who owns property needs both. Property coverage protects your physical buildings and the church's personal property, while liability insurance protects your people, leadership, and ministry activities. If either side of that equation is missing, your church could face financial risk. Let's start with the first pillar. Property insurance. For most congregations, the church property represents the largest financial investment they will ever make. Whether you own a historic sanctuary or a modern worship center, property insurance helps protect those assets from perils like firestorms, theft, and vandalism. The policy should be designed in a way to protect the structure itself alongside the church's personal property that is necessary for daily operations. When establishing building coverage, church leaders must understand how the insurance company values damaged property after a claim. A policy written on replacement cost value pays the amount necessary to rebuild using current construction costs. A policy written on actual cash value, however, subtracts depreciation before paying the claim. You also need to verify if your policy includes a roof payment schedule or depreciation provisions that alter how a hail claim is settled. Next, you want to consider your church's specialized property. Items like sound systems, projectors, and portable ministry gear often require inland marine coverage to be protected properly. Now let's look at the second foundation, liability insurance. While property insurance protects the building, liability insurance protects everything happening inside it. The baseline of this protection is general liability insurance. It covers common accidents that occur on church property, like a visitor slipping on a wet sidewalk after a rainstorm. But general liability was never designed to cover every risk. For instance, pastors routinely provide counseling for marriage, grief, and family challenges. Because these activities create unique risks, a pastoral liability policy is essential. The same applies to sexual misconduct liability. Many church leaders incorrectly assume these claims are automatically covered under general liability, but they are frequently excluded and require a separate endorsement or policy paired with strict risk management practices like background checks and volunteer screening. Finally, consider your leadership and operations. Your elders, deacons, and trustees make financial and operational decisions every single year. Directors and officers, D&O Insurance, protects those volunteer leaders from personal financial exposure if a management decision is legally challenged. Leslie eventually realized she wasn't purchasing insurance simply because the bank required it for a loan. She was actively protecting her church's future. True stewardship means having both foundations built on solid ground. If you are ready to stop guessing about your church's insurance, connect with our team today at insurancefortexans.com. And to get a comprehensive overview of church insurance in general, download your free copy of our book, The Promise of Certainty, at thepromiseofcertainty.com. I'm Ron Wadley, and this has been Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance, Protecting Texas Churches. Until next time, remember, your church's mission is too important to leave to chance.
Thanks for listening to Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance. Until next time, remember, insurance isn't just about policies. It's about safeguarding the mission God has called you to lead.